intro tutorial. So first of all, I'm going to start with finding a nice song. Actually, I know one. I'm just going to use the Vice Tone Nevada. Actually, yep, I'm doing that. Actually, I remember in one of Nuggety's videos that he used this song. Probably this one. Yeah, this one. There we go. I'm just gonna use this. YTMP3.cc is a website which I use to download videos. Songs. Why is this not in dark mode? And now I have the song downloaded, so I'm going to open FL Studio. And what you want to do is just import your song. Okay, so I had some files, which I didn't want to show on camera, so I just did that. No, just grab your song from an FL Studio, drag it into the timeline. I'm using Control on the scroll wheel to zoom like this, and you click up here to move the thing, and spacebar will play. So I found the drop, it's around here. So I want to go a bit before and click on this, which is the Brazier tool, I think, and you just do that. You hold it on, you drag. Now you go back to the pencil or draw, whatever it's called, and then right click on the place you want to delete and drag it to the start. And now I have this. Okay, so I wanted to end about here. Actually, no, exactly there. I'm just gonna grab the slice tool again. C is the keyboard shortcut, and just do that. And do this. Now what you want to do is you want to click on here. If this is minimized like this, just click on the corner and drag it. And you want to click on master here, here on slot 1, and you want to add this effect. Now right click on envelope and then create automation clip and do the same for cutoff. And find your drop, and what you want to do is zoom in by holding Control and scroll wheel, drag this and then hold Alt and then scroll wheel to do this. Right click on the little line things and make sure that it's, actually no, this isn't needed. Just right click and then you get a point at where you right clicked and drag it up. Now you have this, and you can drag these two down, and you can put it a sort of ease by dragging this like so, and then you get this effect. Now do the same for the end, just reversed. Right click, drag up, right click, drag up, here, drag down, and on here. You don't have to move it like this, I'm just doing that by accident. Put this down like so, and this too. Okay, now I want to get to the echo part, or it's called reverb. So click back on here, slot 2, and add Fruity Reverb 2. In my settings, I set the size to the maximum. Bass, you set it to something that's, I sometimes do this to the maximum, but I guess I'll do it today. Wet, I'll just increase it like this, and I'm just gonna put this around there. Now I have this. Another thing you can do is you can make the reverb go like more intense at the end. So how I do that is I right click, create automation clip on the wet, and just use the slice tool like so, and put a cut right there, and then delete the previous part. Now use control and alt to zoom in all the way like this. I mean, not together, but yeah. And then you make a dot at the center of the thing. Try to get as centered as possible. Then you grab this, move it up to around here like this, and now I'm gonna shorten the track, but you don't need to do that. I'm just gonna do that, and there we go. If you've ever used Panzoid, the easings here kind of work like Panzoid. Now to go back into this, which is the mixer, go into slot 3 and add. Go into slot 3 and add a parametric equalizer too. You can increase the sub a little bit, and I'm gonna just increase the bass slightly too. Then you can increase some of the treble. I'm gonna do some of the mid highs, and now you get this slight pop to a sound, and I don't know how to explain, but it sounds nice. And what you want to do is to go in the mixer again, right click on this volume knob on master and click on create automation clip, not automation, and then hold control, zoom in, hold alt, zoom in like this, make a dot, then drag this like so, and you should automatically get an easing. If you don't, you can do it yourself like that, and then go to the end and repeat the same but backwards. Something like this, and then ease it. Okay, now we're done with our thing. Now what you can do is file, export, and then I've got these file names. Export and then wave, which is what I like to do, and then I'm gonna name it 600 tutorial, and click on start there, and then it should be done. I'm gonna open my After Effects. I mean, it's already open, but I probably have a project and I don't want to leak it, so I'm gonna quickly open that in After Effects. Okay, so yeah, I've got my After Effects ready, and what you do is you open your Explorer and you find where you place it. Drag and drop it into After Effects. File, no. Oh god, oh no! Do not. Okay, you drag this onto this little icon here, and then you should get a composition with the exact same length. I'm just going to disable the transparency grid for now, and go into composition settings, and copy these settings except for duration and start. Just don't copy the duration. 1920 by 1080 is the default, I think, but make sure the frame rate is set to 60. You can also do 59.94 if you want to save that render time by rendering 0.6 FPS less, but I'm just going to choose 60. And now you can hit the preview key, which I don't know what it's usually at, but if you go on keyboard shortcuts and here you search up audio preview, you can set it to something. You can set it to a key. For me, I've set it to at the / I think. And I've also set a layer marker key, which is this. You get that by switching add layer marker right here, and then you drag it to whatever key you wanted to add it to. Then I'm just going to cancel this. You should press OK. Now click on your audio preview key and you want to hit the layer marker key to the beat. Something like that. Now we're gonna have to do the text, and I don't know what color to do, so hey Google, pick a random color.
Green.
Okay, so green. That's how I pick most of my colors, by the way. So what you want to do is create a new composition with the same length, duration, and I'm just gonna name it text. Click on the horizontal type tool here, click on anyone in composition and type in your text. I'm going to do tutorial because, well, this is a tutorial. Control A, and then you can use this to scale it up or down. Make sure it's in all caps. If you're using there's some fonts that look like handwritten, and then you don't do full caps then, but usually you do full caps. You can set the size from here. Click here for the font. What font should I use? Primetime? Sure, it looks very nice actually. And the way to center it is to not grab this and move it to the center. That is just no. You click on a line and then you click a line horizontally and a line vertically. To center the anchor point, which is this little star looking thing, click on here, hold it, and then press Control. Drag it to the center. If you have a plugin like if you have an extension, that's called, you can get an extension called Motion V2 or Move Anchor Point, and it comes with this tool automatically. So now, should I do my usual text style? Should I do my old one? Actually, do my usual style. So gradient ramp, just add it and drag it onto the text, and now fiddle around with these two numbers here until you find your start and end of text. For me it will be like this. I'm just going to swap the colours by pressing on this, and at end of colour I'll set that to green and mess around with this setting. This looks about good. Now right click, layer styles, and then glow, and make it completely white and press OK. And use the size. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, scroll wheel to do that. The size, well, it determines the size of it, and then you have opacity, which determines the opacity. I'm just going to set this like this type of colour here. Actually, a darker will be better, like this. Now what you want to do is right click. Actually, I'll do echo space. So what you want to do is right click, layer style stroke, then open the stroke properties and set the color to whatever your color is, but make it darker, like something like this. Then play around with the size until you find something that looks nice. It does this. So it looks pretty nice. I'm just gonna actually put this to a little bit of a darker color, and now right click, pre-compose, and make sure you always select move all attributes into the new composition, and then press OK. And the echo space effect, this comes with Trapcode Suite, I think, I'm not sure. Then setup, repeat. Going to repeater, set the Y offset to 4, and then scale to -0.8. Right click on an empty space, new adjustment layer, move it below the first composition, and then add the sheet saturation effect to it, and decrease the master lightness. Then you get this effect. Now what you can do is you can right click and make a new adjustment again, but this time add the warp effect. Bend 0, vertical distortion, just play around with it. 17 seems about good for me, at least. And you can add some bend if you want, but I won't go into that in this tutorial. So now I'm going to pre-comp everything in here. Pre-comp, yeah, okay. Right click, layer styles, stroke, and then set this to white or whatever color you want. It just does this. And I'm also going to right click, layer styles, and inner glow because it looks quite cool. I'm going to set this to white. Increase the size. Actually, I'm not going to do stroke, I'm going to do saber text, and I'll show you how to. So you click on your comp, your text comp, layer, auto trace, select current frame if you don't have any text animations, and click on OK. Now it makes a new layer. I think it's it makes a new layer with a mask on it, and to that you can add the saber effect. And go into customize core and core type, layer masks, and then there should be some render settings here, but for some reason they don't show up. And what you can do in render settings, make sure to go down here if it doesn't show up here. It's composite settings, transparent, and move it down like this. Now you get this. You can use some other presets. I'm going to use this one, and you can change the color using, well, color, duh. Then get this pretty cool text. Now I'm going to your main composition, go into your project and drag in the text like this. And if you want, you can do a drop shadow, which I'm going to do. So add the drop shadow effect, direction 180, and play around with distance and softness. That was very fast actually. So now we're done with our text, and you should save your project like a million times. So I'm gonna save it 600 tutorial, and whenever you do like a big change, like let's say finish something, you should save. Just Control S, very easy. After Effects crashes a lot, so if you don't do it, you'll be sorry, but if you do it, you're not going to lose that much progress. So in your composition, call it background. I'm just going to abbreviate it and call it BG. So what background should I do? Maybe a ellipse background? Sure. Hold shift and click, then drag out like this. Center the layer using that, and increase the stroke. Actually, sorry, you can click on right here, and then you can, here you have the fill options, set this to none, and then enable the stroke. You can also alt click it to change through them. I'm just going to do this, and now go into size, click on the stopwatch and set it to 0. Click on the time, set it to 230, and it should skip to 1 second and 30. And then just increase this. Also center the anchor point, I forgot to say that. Increase this until you can't see the circle, like so, and then get this when you play it out. But that isn't the final thing. Duplicate your layer, go to 30, press this key, I forgot what it was called, it was a bracket. And then you get this. You can change the stroke color of this to whatever you want. I'm going to do that. And if you wish, you can go into our layer of your choice and add the Venation blind effect. What this does is it makes it striped like this. I'm going to set the direction to 90. Now we have this. I'm just going to select both of them by using shift, right click, pre-compose, enter. Now add the echo effect, not echo space, echo, it comes with After Effects, like that, and set it to -1. As you can see, it now repeats it 2 times instead of just, 1. go to the end, click on the number of echoes and continue pressing the arrow key up until you see the circles come up and fill up the entire screen, like so. And then, as you can see, you have these. So another thing you can do is you can make a new solid. I'm just going to make it black and move it below, and you can use the Mer plugin, Mer 3, and you can use a preset. I'm going to use the large 3D grid. This is very easy to make, so there's no point in not using a preset. Oh god. Okay. By the way, I'm pressing the tilde key on the keyboard to maximize one of the panels, but and then you get this, and this is arguably pretty nice. Now you can click on it and search up line size, and then you can up this until you find something you like. Then I'm going to duplicate the layer and rotate it by pressing R and then do 180, like so. And I'm going to search up color and material color. I'm going to set it to the main color, which is green right now. And we get this, but it's not animated. I totally forgot to animate it. Okay, so what you do is you click on here and then type on scroll. And was it scroll X? No, sorry, scroll Y, and you have to keyframe this. If you want, you can keyframe it, but I'm going to use an automatic expression. So hold Alt and press on the stopwatch, and you get this. Then do times, and then just play around, see what's good. I think 400 will be nice. Way too fast. 250? Yep, that's fine. I'm just going to disable this for now. Duplicate it, rotate it 180, change the colour. Like this. I made this backwards, but if you want, you can make it forwards by, you can, instead of doing on the scroll, on the expression, instead of doing times it, you can do times negative, and that makes it go in the other direction, as you can see. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go to the other one, and I'm going to change it on both, so now it does this. I'm going to re-enable the circles, and then press T, and decrease the opacity, like so. Then I'll add the drop shadow effect, with settings 25, 15, like this. These are the normal settings. I'm just going to decrease the opacity a bit more, and another thing I like to do is I like to add a solid and make it below. Then add CC Starburst. This is available with no plugins, and increase this. Oh yeah, thought. You should make it white. You should make the solid white if you use this, or whatever you want the color to be. Increase the scatter, and yeah, then you should have this. I'm gonna enable everything back, like so. And what I'm gonna do is, like, I usually do like a space background, and to do that, you can use solid, set it to any random color. I'll just do black again. And add the optical phase effect, like so. And I'm just going to go into the options, and I'll remove the spike ball and the glint, so there's only a little ball of light, and I'll increase the brightness like so. I'll put that to be white, and make sure to click on render mode and click on untransparent. Now you can duplicate it, move it around, set it to a different colour. That is a bit too bright for my liking. And I'm going to duplicate it again. And I'm going to move it down here and set it to, I'll call white like this. And I'm going to click to all of them by holding shift and then clicking on all of them. Right click, pre-compose, okay. Now add turbulent to this place. like so. And I usually don't change the amount, but I do change the scale. Actually, I will change the amount. And you can increase the amount and or the scale to get an effect that you like. Then I'm going to open this by using the triangle effect, tablet displays, and I'll alt click on amount, alt click on evolution and just play around. I've time times 500 maybe. That seems about good. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the background. So now you can, by the way, this is effect controls. Now you can drag it in below the text, and now we have our background, and it's time for timer map. Right click on the background, time, enable timer mapping. You can use the J and K keys to go between the markers that we made earlier on. And I'm just going to go into the first marker, click on this, and then continue. Like so. Now you can click on an empty space, click back on timer map, and do F9 on your keyboard, or right click, keys from assistance, easy ease. Then you should go into the graph editor, which is this. Right click, edit value graph, select all of these, which are the middle ones, or you can just do this and go then into value graph. Click on this, which is convert selected keyframes so all to be easier. I'm just going to disable auto zoom graph height, and I'm going to zoom in using, just holding control is vertical and alt is horizontal, and scroll is just up and down. So you can do something like this, and now I have a timer map. Just let it render out. I'm going to play around with it, and if it goes backwards like this, actually I fixed that. If it goes backwards on some spots where it's a little bit too much, you can just go and change it manually. I'm not using the auto bezier. If you want, actually, if you take some saber, you can go to the beginning, copy your timer map, pre-compose the text. And I'm going to name it text timer map, and here make sure you click on move all attributes, okay? And you can then paste the timer map, being careful that it's from the start. And you can also timer map the text saber effect. Okay, so this is usually a bad idea, but I'm going to do color grading early. People call it color correction or CC, but it's actually color grading. So new adjustment layer, and add the magic bullet looks effect, and click on edit. You might have a different version than this, but still, you should be able to figure it out, knowing this is why we save. This is, and I totally forgot to. Oh no. I'm just going to drink water while waiting for this. Oh no. Please tell me it didn't crash. How much resources is it using? 90% of my memory. After Effects is using 11 gigabytes. Nice. Oh no. Wait, actually, I think it's glitched. I'm gonna do Alt Tab, and I'm gonna go to like Opera, and then I'm gonna go back. Actually, I'm gonna Alt Tab. Yes, there we go. I Alt Tabbed a couple of times and I finally got the window. Oh, I forgot to understand to cancel actually and go back into background and add a black solid as your background, your total background. So you should check that when you turn on transparency, it doesn't show anything transparent. Otherwise it's going to do this, and that is bad. So I'm just going to go back into my Magic Bullet looks and I'm going to subject, tools, exposure and decrease this a tad. I'm going to add some contrast and pop, matte, diffusion. I'm going to add 2 diffusion layers. One of them is going to be, actually I'll make it a cooler one, like a cooler colour, and then the other one is just going to be like an aerial one. Okay, I'm going to add Lightplex. This might not be available depending on your version. And I'm actually going to say, no, I'm just not going to add it. I'll add Warm Cool and you can put this to like green, but I'll do this because it usually looks better. Lens, you can add your vignette and increase the strength and the radius. Then add edge softness but to the start of it and increase the radius. And I'm going to add lens distortion before everything and set it to a negative number like this. And now if you want you can add chromatic aberration. 3, negative 3. Actually no, 2, negative 2. There. Camera, shutter streak, and decrease the size, like so. I'm gonna add this, like so. Post, add S-curve, and do something like this, and then click on that. Actually no, I messed up something. This is not how it usually looks like. Okay, that's a bit better. I'm actually going to increase the vignette, like so. And you can add a shine effect. Oops. You can add a shine effect. Go into colorize and set it to one color. Then set it to the main color. And put it before Magic Bullet looks like this. Decrease the shine opacity. Actually, you can put this independently. I'm actually going to copy Magic Bullet Looks and I'm going to delete it from this. And I'll paste it on a new adjustment layer so I can see the shine below it. Something is overpowering it. That's better. I'm just going to delete this and paste it back here, like so. Now I'm going to save, and I'll do sync. So new adjustment layer, sync, and I'm just going to name this to CG. That's the color grade. Move the sync layer below the color grade, and add the motion tile effect. I'll put width 200, I'll put height 200, mirror edges, now add transform. And what you want to do is go into your first beat, click on the scale, go 2 frames before, press U, and then like the U key, then add a keyframe. Go into the next keyframe by pressing this button and set the scale to something like 120. Then you want this script, which is the bounce script, oops. And I want to copy it, hold Alt and paste it here, and Control V. Now get this. But that is a little bit too much, so set the frequency here. Just click on here, scroll down until you see FREQ, and set this to 1.5. Actually, I'll decrease my scale a little bit and maybe do 1.5. And now what you want to do is copy your keyframes and go to every single beat and paste them. Like so. Go to the start and just don't select the keyframes at the start on the first beat, and you should move it 2 frames back like this so the end keyframe is centered. Now I get this. I'm just gonna disable the background because this is just a preview. Oh, this is rendering so slowly. Now we have that type. Now we have scale sync. Now add s_shake. I'm gonna save actually. Warp X, no. Warp Y, no. Frequency 3. Now we have a shake. And just keyframe this the same way you keyframed the scale, except for without that expression, or it looks like code. Well, technically it is code. So if you use your old scale keyframes as a reference, it's just going to line up automatically. Actually, I think I've slightly overdone it, so I'm just going to. Also, I've totally not forgotten the start beat. I'm just going to copy this, like so. Maybe 0.5, which is half of what it was before. Done. Now I'm going to preview it. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to go on to preview, resolution custom, and do that. I'll save. That's more like it. I'm going to set it back to quarter, which it was before. Now add the twitch effect, like so. Set the speed to 10. Enable slide. Operator controls slide. Decrease the amount. Increase the RGB split. Actually, decrease the motion blur too. And you should get like this glitchy effect. And actually, I'm going to set the speed to something like 30. And now what you want to do is click on the amount stopwatch. I'm going to press U to bring up every keyframe. I'm going to press it 2 times this time. Page up once. Set the amount to 0. Page down. And then press page down 2 times again. And then set it to 0. And now you just copy it. like so, and align it again, excluding the first one. Like so. I'm going to increase the motion blur to 70. Now we have that type of sync, and next I'm going to do splines, which is most of the time the only shapes that I do. I probably will post a different shape tutorial later, so I'm going to make a new composition, call it splines, go back into the main comp and copy your song, paste it here, so now we have it here, and add a solid, and I usually add a saber effect again. And then what you want to do is customize core type, layer masks. Then click on here and draw a path. Something like this. And then go into search bars and search up start offset, and then comma end offset. Set the end offset to 0, keyframe both of them at the same time, then go to the end, keyframe both of them to 100, click on somewhere in between, and offset the start offset, so you get this. And I'm going to select preset to energize, and I'll set this to green. And what you can do is you can customize course, start size 0, and end roundness to 2, and then you get this. Now I'm gonna go back into render settings and composite settings, transparent. I'm gonna duplicate it, Control D, rotate 180, and set the glow color to white, like so. I'm going to select both of them, toggle switches / modes, and set this to add. And now you have these. I'm going to time map them, so right click pre-compose here, and then I'm going to copy this timer map. Okay, now normal splines, you click on pen tool and you start drawing a shape, or sorry, a path, like so. Decrease or increase the stroke width and set it to whatever color you want. Then click on the triangle, add trim paths, click on here, end, start, keyframe them both, set them to 100, basically repeat the same with saber, and then offset one of them so you get a line. And I'm going to make it thinner, duplicate and rotate 180 and set it to a different color. This time I'm going to add drop shadow to both, so drop shadow 1525. And time wrap them. I moved them below actually, so the saber effect gets a priority. And I'm actually gonna set the saber to add. And then go back into the main comp, drag in your splines and put them between the text and the background, and disable the little speaker icon, which is the sound. I'm gonna save. And this will take forever to render. Oh great. Boo. Boo After Effects. Not responding incoming. It's gonna be stuck like this, and I've already have it saved, so I'm just gonna... I press Ctrl Shift Escape to bring up the task manager, by the way. I'm just gonna click on After Effects and oh, never mind. It responded. How long have we been recording for? 46 minutes! Oh, I totally forgot to do text animation. Boo me. Okay. I'm gonna go back and get my bounce expression. This will be in the description if you need it. I'm gonna keyframe scale at the start and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames back using page up. Set it to 0. Auto click on the stopwatch and paste the expression. Now I'm gonna turn the frequency to 1.5. Here. And I want it to rotate right here. So I'm going to press J 2 times, click on the text R, and then keyframe the rotation, something like this. And then I'm going to set it to 360, which is 1, on this number here. And then I'm going to select both of them, F9 graph editor, speed graph, and set it so that the hump of this hill looking like thing is at where you want it to be the fastest. That is not fast enough, so I'm going to make it faster by just making it tighter. Like so. Oh no, save. I have an idea for it to zoom, for it to become smaller here and then bounce out, so I'm just going to do that idea by putting a keyframe between these two, putting a keyframe here, and setting this to a lower number, let's say 73. I'll make sure they're equidistant. Now I'm going to use my Flow plugin, which is a plugin I use when I can't make easings by myself or I'm lazy. Actually, I'm going to use Circular and Out, which is the same as in Panzoid, by the way. I'm just going to do that, hit keyframe, and go 1 frame forward and set it to 100. Never mind, that's too much, I'm going to move that keyframe back. Sorry, not a frame back. Okay, so now I have an idea, and it's gonna be this. This is gonna be inspired by lore and design. So by his video intro. Yeah, this where the text zooms in, and then there's a duplicate with other texts, and they zoom out like this while changing colours. So to do that, I'm just gonna find a suitable point right here. Okay, so first I'm gonna start off with duplicating the text layer 2 times. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the point, and actually I'll delete one of the duplicates. I'll press on scale, move this backwards a little bit, keyframe the scale, do this, and set it to something that's more than the original one, maybe 120. And make sure it's below so you get this effect, and I'm going to go to this, F9, which is easy ease, and I'm gonna ease it. And I'm gonna actually set a keyframe here, which is to 100. I'm gonna make my own easing. So I'm gonna do something like this on flow, and I'll apply. So this slowly goes down. And now I'm going to add the color balance effect, HLS, and I'm going to keyframe the hue. Oops. You can also use hue/saturation for this, but I like this better because you actually get to see what the keyframes are of the individual properties instead of just one keyframe for everything. I'm going to duplicate this, go here, and instead of 120 I'm going to do 140 on the scale. And on the colour balance I'm going to make it start from 0 to 180. And, well, I have to, okay, I have to check my microphone because I touched its cable. And I'm going to make it end on 580. And I'm gonna Control-Shift-D, select them both, Control-Shift-D over the start. I'm gonna delete the unnecessary areas. I'm gonna go here, Control-Shift-D, and delete. How long has it been? Almost an hour. I'm going to do 3D rotation, so click on here. If that is not showing up, you can click on toggle switches / modes. I'm gonna make it right here. Which rotation? I'll do one rotation. Set it to 1. Go to where I want it to be the fastest point. F9, and I'm gonna ease it. This is why, by the way, all of the easing part, this is why this tutorial isn't recommended for beginners. You should know that some of the basics before you get to this. First, I'll recommend watching me FX's tutorial to learn, the basics. I'm gonna save. Okay, so how I'm gonna do an effect called edge detection in Panzoid. So new adjustment layer, and I'm gonna use the s_edge detect effect. Which makes it look. Actually, no, I'll use the find edges effect. Warning, this effect does change depending on the resolution. And I'm going to click on invert. Now I'm going to duplicate it a couple of times. 2 times. Actually, no, just 1. And I'm going to add the hue saturation effect. Enable colorize saturation 100 and find the appropriate color, like so. Save. I'm just going to Control-Shift-Z this and do that. And maybe this. Actually, I'll do a what's called a destabilize effect. I'm just going to disable the background splines and sync with the color grading. Actually, for now, I'll disable the text saver because it's lagging. Okay, so I'm gonna add the s_shake effect again, and frequency, we'll see that later. For X, I'm gonna set it to 0 for X rand, Y rand 0, and yeah. Now, I think X wave was the correct effect. Yeah, it was. I'm gonna decrease the frequency to like 3. Now on Z-Shake, I want to increase the wave amplitude. Oh, sorry, not on Z, tilt. I'm gonna enable motion blur just for preview sakes. Okay, that looks pretty nice. And I'm gonna enable find edges and hue saturation. And I'm gonna enable everything back, including the saber on the text. Like so, and I'll save. Now comes to the final stretch. I've been recording for 59 minutes and yeah, basically an hour. And a new adjustment layer. And you can add, I'm gonna add s_wipe circle, which, well, is a circle transition. I'll make it start from 0 right here. Actually, I'm gonna put it below the text. I'll make it start from 0, and I'll keyframe it, and I'll make it go to about here. Keyframe it to, make it start from 100 and keyframe it to 0. Now I'm gonna ease it like so. Save. This would be a fun video to render and also upload. Actually, right here, I'm gonna add like a fisheye effect where it kind of zoom. I'll show you what I mean. So, new adjustment layer, and I'll make it start from like here, like so. Go to here and here. Now add optics compensation. Well, if you want, you can do this. I'm not controlling you. Reverse lens distortion. And field of view. I'll press U. I'm gonna go on to the start, keyframe at 0, go into the ending, keyframe at 0, and in the middle, I'm just gonna disable the sync for a little. I'm gonna increase this. Oh no, to something that's high, like 155, and I'm gonna use a cubic in on here and cubic out on here. By the way, the ease looks like this on SpeedGraph if you want to recreate it yourself. That is a bit too fast, so I'm gonna extend the adjustment layer. Don't double click on it, if it'll go into here and then you have to click back. And do something like this. I'll extend this and I'll move this to like here. Actually, I'll set this to quadratic out. And I'll add the turbulent displace effect. And I'm gonna keyframe that to... Oh no, not that. The mount. Cubic in. I'm gonna set this to 0 on the end without any easing. Actually, I would do quadratic easing. Apply. Also, here's how the easing looks like. Oh, it didn't apply there properly. Okay. Actually, do something like this, and I'll increase the amount. Then I'll keyframe the evolution. And maybe make this shorter. And maybe quarter count. I'll also do a quarter count on this too. I'll extend this so it's slower. Now put this in. How long will I have to extend this? It always behaves the same way. Stop it. No. No. I'll disable the ease. No. Now make this slower, like 2 times slower. I'm gonna save. Yeah, there we go. Save again. And we're almost done. So finally, we're gonna get another transition. I'm gonna put it below the color grade, and this will be S_wipeline. You can also use linear wipe. They're the same. Well, basically the same. They do the same job. But Wipeline has a little bit more customization, which we won't use today. And set this to 100. Go here, and then I'll keyframe it. Something like that. As you can see, this effect on here changes depending on your resolution. So you should, if you want to preview that effect, make sure your resolution is set to full. And yeah, we're pretty much done. So for final touch, you select everything except the song, pre-compose it, like so, disable the audio, by using page up and page down, find the first frame, where you can see something. Okay, so I can see the transition right here, so I'm going to go on from back, and I'm going to Ctrl+Shift+D. I'm going to go to, actually I'll go in and find the thing itself. Ctrl+Shift+D, delete, save. Now add RSMB Pro preferably, and set it to 0.8. 0.80 is 0.8 if you don't know. Final save. Oh no. Oh no. And if you want, you can right click new solid, and then you can set it to, like, if you want like a green screen or something, you can set it to like a solid color, move it below, and there you go, you can use it as like a green screen or chroma key screen. But I just render an RGB alpha, so composition, render as. I'm gonna put my usual render settings, which is QuickTime, RGB alpha, and animation. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now all I have to do is render, and your intro will be done. Bye.